Hello guys. So as promised, I am going to show you how to calibrate your machine. Now let's talk about calibration. Sometimes you will find that your machine doesn't cut where you thought it would cut. Sometimes it's just teeny tiny, slightly bit off, but it still cuts into your design. Sometimes it's completely and totally out of whack. So what do you do when your machine doesn't cut where you thought it would be cutting? You need to calibrate it. I needed to calibrate my machine the day I got it. I don't know if it was because it was getting bumped around in the mail a lot or what happened, but before I could even get started, I actually had to fix it up. So if you find that you need to calibrate it, you need to open up Cricut Design Space, and on the left-hand side, you'll find a little hamburger. So these three lines over here, click on that and find calibration. So once you click on that, it's going to give you three choices. So you can calibrate your machine if you find that the rotary blade, which is your fabric blade, isn't cutting properly. So if it's not cutting your sewing panels exactly as you expected it to, then you would come and calibrate your rotary blade. The other blade that can give you issues is the knife blade. The knife blade is an additional blade that you need to purchase, and that blade is super duper sharp, and it has a lot of depth to it so that you can cut really thick material like balsa wood. So this might be a little bit more of an advanced blade. I would recommend you get to know your machine really well before you get into that blade. Then we also can calibrate according to print then cut. So if you didn't know, you can actually design images or download images online that are colorful and pretty, and you can print them out on your normal printer, and then your machine can cut it out. So it can cut around those beautiful images. So it's a great way to turn things into stickers or die cuts, for example. So if you find that you're printing something out and your machine isn't doing a good job of cutting around your printed images, then that is the image you will select. So I don't have my printer down here with me, so I'm going to walk you guys through the rotary blade just so that you can see how to do this, but all of them are pretty similar anyways. So first things first, obviously click on rotary blade. Now it says to pop your blade into clamp B. I've shown you guys how to change blades multiple times in the workshops. So if you don't know how to do that, go and find a workshop and check it out. And then we're just going to place normal printer paper in the top left corner of your mat. Now, we're using printer paper because sometimes you need to do a few rounds of calibration, and we obviously don't want to destroy something more valuable than just paper. If you're using paper, do remember that you need to use your blue mat. So your blue mat is the one that's the least sticky. It's got the least strength, the lowest strength adhesive on it. So if you put your paper on some of the other mats, you're going to have a really tough time trying to lift it off. So grab your blue mat and some printer paper and let's pop it on. Okay, so here's my blue mat. I've still got a little bit of bits and pieces from our previous workshop stuck on here. So I thought instead of doing it beforehand, I'll show you how to quickly clean off these bits. Obviously, it's a bit annoying to individually pick off these tiny little bits and pieces. That's not what we want to do. But if you grab your scraper, you can literally scrape it away super quickly. Check that out. And now my mat's nice and beautifully clean. The scraper is really good because it doesn't take your adhesive off like some of your metal tools would. And all you're going to do is to pop your paper in the top left-hand corner and load it up into your machine. Great. So going back to your software, you're going to click on continue. It's going to connect to your Maker machine. It's going to tell you to load up your maps. We already did that, so it realized that. And now we simply have to press go. Okay guys, so what your machine has done, it's basically cut some lines into your paper, and it's supposed to have done it in a very specific way. So when you unload your mat, and you'll be able to see those lines a little bit better, what you need to do is to basically compare these lines against the lines that are on your screen. So it says, counting down from the top, select the set of lines that overlap the most. So what it wants to do is to calibrate it to the most exact cut. Okay, so let me just pop up and see if you guys can see this. There you go. So you can see that up here it's done two cuts. So that is way off the mark, right? That's, if I told Cricut that's the cut, I'm actually putting my machine out of calibration. So you need to go down and you need to find the one that both lines were cut on exactly the same space. So for me, it would obviously be that one. So you need to count. So that's 1, 2, 3, that's the fourth line. Okay. So popping back on your computer, you select number 4 and you click on continue. Okay, and now it tells you that the rotary blade calibration is complete. So it's really truly as simple as that. We've helped the machine figure out which of its cuts was the one that was actually matching up with the Cricut Design Space software's cuts. And now it will give you more precise cuts. Really super easy. It's a little bit more complicated, obviously, when you're doing your print and your cut, because first you need to print out your bits and your pieces before you can make the match between whether it's cutting in the right place or not. But I hope that helped you guys. And as always, if you need to reach out to me and ask me a question, you are more than welcome to do so. Our email is hello@thebestvinylcutters.com. So shoot us a mail if you need to ask anything and we can see if we can help you out. See you guys.